Welcome to Picture Healer channel. Today I like to talk about the Flying Star charts for the Period 9 Feng Shui. In this channel, we talk about the monthly and the yearly chart a lot, but there's another type of chart that's based on the house sitting and facing directions, and also the construction period. And we'll look at the main difference from the Period 8 Feng Shui chart. And when the house has a Period 9 Feng Shui chart, that means the house is built during Period 9, which is starting from this year, 2024, and lasts for 20 years. Or you can have major renovation during this time. And after the major renovation, it's considered a Period 9 Feng Shui. In the Flying Star Feng Shui, we have 9 stars flying to different directions and create different combinations. And we know during Period 9, the best star is number 9. And for the 24 major charts in Period 9, we can separate them into 2 major types. One is with the star 9 in the front of the house. The other type is with star 9 in the back of the house. And in Period 9, it's always 2 star 9s in the front or 2 star 9s in the back of the house. So it's different from the Period 8. And if you are new to the Flying Star, we can look at the typical star combinations. There will be 3 numbers. The one on the top left is the mountain star and related to health. The one on the top right is facing star and related to money. And the star in the bottom is related to the period. For example, now it's a Period 9. So the Period 9 stars are on the bottom, and it should be the same for the whole Period 9. If the lucky star goes to the upper right corner, we say the house has very good financial luck. And if the star 9 flies to the upper left, the mountain star, that means this place has good health and relationship luck. For the Period 8 Feng Shui chart, there are a lot of house charts with a lucky facing star in the front and lucky mountain stars in the back of the house. In theory, that's a perfect Feng Shui because the front of the house is usually lower and with more movement. So it's a symbol of water and money. And the back of the house is usually more stable, less traffic, just like a mountain. And that symbolizes good health and relationships. But during Period 9, we don't have such combination. We have either 2 number 9s in the front of the house or 2 number 9 stars in the back of the house. And we are just talking about the 24 major charts because there are other charts when your facing direction is in between the 24 mountains or the 24 directions, you will have a different chart. And that can become more complicated. But for the 24 major charts, it's either the 2 number 9 stars in the front of the house or 2 number 9 in the back of the house. First, we need to know what's the 24 mountains. It's basically 24 direction, and it's divided from the circle, 360 degrees, and each direction is divided 3 smaller sections. For example, the south has south 1, 2, 3. Southwest has southwest 1, southwest 2, and southwest 3. And each section has a Chinese character. It's either related to 10 heavenly stems and 12 earthly branches or the Bagua. For Period 9 Flying Star Feng Shui, there are 12 directions with 2 flying stars in the front of the house. So in theory, that means this house is very lucky for finance. And this chart shows the 12 facing directions in terms of the 24 sections or the 24 mountains. For example, South 1, the Bing direction, or the southeast 1, the Chen direction, or east 3, the Yi direction. If your house is built or renovated in period 9 and have any of these 12 directions, you will have both of the number 9 lucky stars in the front of your house. And another 12 directions are the opposite. You'll have both mountain star and facing star number 9 in the back of the house. And this type of house usually means better luck in health and relationships. Those are the house facing directions. And if it's a period 9 house. So one example is when the house facing north 2 direction or the Zi direction. And in the Chinese map, we draw the north on the bottom and the south on the top. So if your house chart is facing north 2 and built in period 9, you have 2 number 9 stars in the front. So any of the 12 house facing directions in the first chart will have 2 star 9s in the front of the house. And if that's your house, you can activate your financial luck by adding a fountain or a fish tank in the front of the house. When this area is lower and more movement, more traffic, just like water, that means better financial luck. The second example is for star 9 in the back of the house. So that can be any of these 12 facing directions. For example, we are looking at the south 2 facing or the Wu facing chart. In this flying star chart, the 2 number 9 stars are in the north. So that's the back side of the house because the front entrance is in the south. In theory, this type of the house means better with health and relationship luck because the back of the house is usually taller and less movement, more supported and stable. So for this type of the house, we can enhance health and relationship luck by setting up this area taller. So if you have a natural mountain or higher hill in this direction, then you have very good health and relationship luck. But if you don't, you can add something tall, such as a tall cabinet or even just a tall crystal to symbolize mountain and bring health and relationship luck. So we go back to the first 12 types of the period 9 house chart. That's with 2 star 9s in the front. If your house is facing one of these 12 directions, and is built during period 9 or have major renovation in period 9, you can place a fish tank, a water fountain, or any other water feature in the front of the house for money luck. And you can also set up money enhancers in the front of the house. And on the other hand, if you are the other 12 type, you have the 2 number 9 lucky stars in the back of the house, so you can set up something tall in the back of the house to enhance health and relationship luck, such as a tall cabinet or a big crystal, and keep this area less traffic, more stable, and taller in general. So that's basically 2 types of the Flying Star Feng Shui chart for period 9. It's very different from the period 8. Period 8 has more variations. It can be very good or very bad. But for period 9, there is no best chart or perfect chart because when the 2 stars are in the same direction, they are kind of conflicting with each other. If you enhance a lot of financial luck, that means the health and the relationship luck can reduce a little bit. So there is a fine balance for these 2 stars when they are together. So if you are the first type with the 2 number 9 stars in the front of the house, we can set up the fish tank and the fountain, but also we can have a little bit higher objects or structure or crystals in this direction. And if it's the second type with the star nice in the back of the house, besides the tall cabinet or crystals, it's also good to have a little bit lowered area to balance out these two stars. So those are the general rules. Depends on landscape and the view of every house. There will be different adjustments. And we can also combine with other flying star charts, such as a yearly chart, and consider your own birth chart for lucky element and lucky directions. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next week.